Lord Jamar, happy to have you on the platform, my guy.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, man, the people been asking for a while to get you. So, we finally made it happen, man.
I appreciate that. That's what's up.
Yes, indeed, man. So it's a lot of stuff I want to get into, right? The first thing I want to ask you is Puerto Ricans in hip hop. Do you believe they played a part in the creation of hip hop?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Were they early? Were they the first contributors? Yes. Did they do things to help proliferate hip hop? Yes. Were they, do we have valuable uh people from the Puerto Rican culture that has contributed? Absolutely. But in the beginning stages of hip hop, in the creation stages of hip hop, this was very much a Black American youth thing that had no outside influences from Puerto Rico or Jamaica or any other type of place that you may name. The influences, if anything, were from down south America. The influences were our parents' music. Like it had nothing to do with any outside people. And any individuals that might have been from those places did not bring that culture to hip hop. They had to act Black in order to assimilate to hip hop culture. That's all that's being said. There's no hatred or no racism, whatever they trying to call foul on. It's just saying, listen, the thing that you love and adore is something that was made by Black American youth. Get over it. It's not the melting pot y'all are trying to uh, paint it as. Now, I don't know if there's some sort of financial reasons, being we have the Olympics coming up and people want to attach themselves to certain things. We just had the 50th anniversary of hip hop. That was very lucrative for certain people. You understand? So, um, yeah, museums being made in the Bronx and stuff like that. So I think in some people, it's their best interest to try to uh, mold a certain narrative, but the truth is the truth, you know. Um, I got people that was there that will tell you what it is. This is not just me talking, you know what I mean? But because yeah, they'll say I wasn't there. I don't have to be there. I don't have to be there because the DNA will show you the 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 everything that's incorporated into hip hop will show you that it has nothing to do with Puerto Rican or Jamaican culture, period. And those were myths that were just put out there. I'm not exactly sure when. I think it started happening in the 90s. Don't know why, but we're here to clear this up.
So why do you think people like Fat Joe and Crazy Legs, they push that narrative? It's like, for me, it's one thing for them to push it, but when you got people like, KRS-One pushing it, yeah, that's crazy, man.
Well, I can definitely understand why people like Fat Joe or Crazy Legs or even a Pete Rock, you know, feel like they would want to push that narrative because that's what they heard. And quite frankly, it'll make you feel good. It makes you feel good. You know what I mean? If you somehow believe that you had a hand in something, but then when you find out otherwise, it could make you kind of salty. And it was nice to go with those myths or those narratives when they were put out there and all of that. But yeah, it's just not real. Oh, and also I wanted to say to that is I think there's a certain like maybe slight guilt that comes with people of a certain lineage who weren't born there. Okay? So now you have Puerto Ricans or Jamaicans alike who, if you're not born there, they look down on you a little bit. Jamaicans will call you a Yankee regardless if your parents are Jamaican and was born in Jamaica and all that. You understand what I'm saying? So I think some of these people have a little bit of that going on where they're almost trying to overcompensate and show like, yo, listen, I'm standing up for my flag. I'm standing up for, I'm Jamaican, I'm Puerto Rican. That doesn't matter. I was born here in America. I'm not American like them. I'm with y'all. And all I'm saying is, if we're really all one, if this is really all about unity, if we all see ourselves as Black, then why is this even a fucking issue, yo? What's the fucking problem? If we all won, then Black Americans did this. And if y'all was Black Americans, then we don't have a problem. But you want to separate yourself with these different flags and all of that. You want to be one, but you want to be singled out too. So if you want to be singled out, well, then we got to say, all right, well, then you wasn't there in the beginning because it was only Black Americans that was there.
Yeah, and I know KRS-One, he spoke on it, and he was calling people stupid if they try to downplay Latinos playing a part of hip hop.
And then he went as far as to say that hip hop couldn't have been created without Latinos.
Yeah, that's a wild statement.
That's a wild statement. Because I'm going to be honest, and this is no disrespect to any Latinos in hip hop, but you can remove everybody from hip hop and just leave Black people, and hip hop would be just fine. It's when you remove Black people from hip hop that it all goes to shit. Let's keep it real.
That's real talking. Microphone Fiend, you was in that documentary, right? Great documentary, by the way, man, by Tariq Nasheed, man. Incredible body of work.
I am in a documentary, and I just want to say that I feel like a lot of this pushback is because certain people don't like Tariq personally. They don't like what he's about with FBA and all of that type of shit. Like, listen, Tariq is a cool guy. I'm not some sort of Tariq disciple, though. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's certain things that I may not agree with as far as the full FBA, stance on reparations, let's say. You know what I mean? But that doesn't stop me from engaging in the truth. You see what I'm saying? Like people will say, well, because on my father's lineage, right? My great grandfather is from Guyana, right? But my mother is full what you would call FBA. So you got some people, well, you're not even FBA, Lord Jamar, like you have Guyanese in your fucking family. So what? Why would that make me lie? Why would that make me lie? I'm still going to tell the truth, whether it falls in my favor or not. See, this is what y'all don't understand. When it doesn't fall in your favor, you want to now lie. If it don't fall in my favor, I don't care. I don't care. Oh, my father's half is going to be mad that they wasn't down with the beginning of hip hop. Nobody said the Guyanese was in the beginning of hip hop. And my family is so New York. Like nobody has an accent in my family. I didn't come up with any Caribbean recipes in my home. Like, that's my great grandfather. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we've been in New York for Udine. So it's like we Black Americans from New York. You know what I mean? And Black Americans from New York, and I'm not even going to just say the Bronx, and that's blasphemous too in certain circles, that, oh, the Bronx created it. I'm going to say the New York City area created it, because a lot of shit was going on simultaneously. I think that some people, you know what I mean? How could you know? If you're in the Bronx, you don't know what's going on in Queens. You know what I mean? You don't know necessarily what's going on in Brooklyn unless you're traveling like that. You know what I mean? And not everybody was doing that. A lot of people were staying in their own neighborhoods and all of that. Yeah, even KRS had to correct himself because he had the song South Bronx. And he said, well, to be historically correct, it started in the West Bronx. It's all debatable. Some people say East Bronx. Some people say they was doing this in Brooklyn and Queens too. So, like I said, hip hop started around that New York City area at that time by Black American youth. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with it at all. But BET, right? Gotta ask you about this. How you feel about the backlash they got for remembering OJ Simpson at the BET Awards? And the main person that was giving them backlash was Stephen A. Smith.
Listen, to try to encompass somebody whole life into one moment, you know what I mean? that first of all was never proven. You know what I mean? Like that it was, there's a lot of things have come out subsequently that says maybe he didn't do it after all. People, um, none of us was there. We don't know. But all I know is when I was coming up as a child, OJ Simpson was a hell of a role model on the football field, uh, jumping over luggage in the airport on them Hertz commercials, um, being in movies and all types of like OJ Simpson up until that fateful Bronco ride was the motherfucking man. You know what I mean? Like basically. So that being said, we can't just erase everything that he did. Again, keep in mind, people, this man was acquitted. He was found not guilty. Like whatever you feel in your heart is what you feel in your heart. But, he was found not guilty. So I'm actually surprised that BET honored him, but I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it because OJ did honor-worthy things in his life.
You personally, do you believe he did it?
Do I think he did it? Um, from what no, I don't think he did it. No, I don't think he did it. No.
How do you feel about the situation that happened in Canada with Rick Ross and his crew?
Yeah, that shit was wild. That was wild. So just as a quick recap, Rick Ross performed in Canada, and at the end of his show, he played "They Not Like Us," right? But okay, so Rick Ross does this in Canada, and then dudes run up on him and proceed to like pummel his bouncer, right? So first of all, I feel like where you get your bouncers from? You know what I mean? Like I think you need to go to a more quality. See, sometimes dudes just get big dudes who don't really have like experience in being a real bouncer. You know what I mean? Like I know dudes that do real security. You know what I mean? That hammers and all of that, and you know what I mean? They know some shit. That guy, that guy got mopped by some skinny dudes, yo. Um, yeah, it was a little crazy. You know what I mean? Now, what's jumped out to me though the most about the video is, and I kind of would like to see the assailants. There's a lot of niggas thrown around in that video. What's up, Nick? Nick, Nick? Like, and them dudes didn't look so black to me. If they wasn't white or Spanish, they was super light skinned. Like, but all I know is like nobody is really talking about that because people just freely use that word now. White people, Spanish, everybody. What's up, Nick? Especially when a beef go down. You know what I mean? But if you used any other kind of word, like a F word that ends with a T, you'd get charged for some hate crime or some shit. You see? I was like, is people not seeing this part of the, like, that's the part of the video that's really crazy to me. You know what I mean?
I know Uncle Luke, he was feeling the type of way about, Drake like in that video on Instagram. And he even gave Drake a warning, like, yo, you co-signing that, it's not a good look.
But that's, dudes being in their feelings, not fully thinking things through, and, just trying to act like, yeah. So I bet you have more shows in America than people do in Canada. You heard? Like you don't want those problems down here.
Yeah, that definitely wasn't a good look. Him like in that post, that can make things ugly when he come to the US and do shows.
Right, because now niggas want to go tit for tat. Like don't go to, you know, don't go to where Rick Ross, Miami or Atlanta, wherever,
Real talk. But I gotta ask you, right? Because you made a comment about it. Drake and Kendrick. You made a comment saying that the battle was soft. It was one of the softest battles ever.
Well, I said this battle to me, not the softest records. I said the whole battle to me is one of the softest battles in hip hop history. To me, you know what I mean? Like, because I come from a time where, you know, no Vaseline and you know what I mean? Motherfuckers just got to it. Like ether and, you know, hit them up. Like I never heard a battle where dudes is like singing in the battle. Like, you know, I was really gonna try to keep it PG. Like, who the do that in the battle? Like, that's crazy. Like, just get to the shits. Like, you know what I mean? Like, um, so I understand we're in a different time and all of that. You know what I mean? But yeah, just the approach. You know what I mean? It started very like, you know, they had to kind of work up to the, you know, and then finally, you know, that they're not like us. Now, I must say though, that song, I don't ever think I've seen this kind of reaction from a battle song ever. Like, there was never like a battle party song. Like, usually the battle songs was just some shit you listen to, and you're like, man, he got it. She fucked him up. You know what I mean? Like, but it wasn't necessarily some shit that's like a party anthem. Like, he turned this battle diss song into a party anthem, and that's probably the genius about it. Like, that's what's gonna make this joint, that particular song, gonna last through time. Like that, it's a classic now. Actually, it's a classic right now. Yeah,
Okay, so you got
yeah,
it as a
yeah.
classic already?
hmm Yeah, right now. Right now, because you're gonna hear that song years from now. People who are living in this time when that comes on, they're gonna be like, "A minor," like, you know what I mean? Like, whop, whop, whop. They're gonna be doing all of that shit. Like, and you don't get a lot of music like that these days. You don't get a lot of classics these days. Are any of those other joints clack? Like, can we really remember all the stuff that happened prior to that song? Like, really? Are they really gonna play those 30 years from now? Nah, but they're gonna play that. It's like they're gonna play that one. You see? That's why I'm calling it as a classic now. Watch. Lord Jamar be knowing, trust me.
Yeah, you're right, man. I mean, just me thinking about it. Yeah, I can see that. 20 or 30 years from now, not like us being played. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. And just the emotional response that it brings when I see it come on, like it's just, yeah. Ain't been a record like this in a while. Yeah.
So I gotta ask you, right? You being somebody from East Coast, and we talking about not like us, and the reaction is getting. How was the reaction when Hit 'Em Up came out? You being somebody from New York, how was that like?
Motherfuckers was like, yo, like he is not playing. See, you know what was smart about Hit 'Em Up? He used a beat that was like an East Coast type of beat. You know what I mean? That fucking Don't Look Any Further joint, that's a very like Queens, New York. Um, yeah, Queens is known for loving that joint. No, I'm actually thinking of doom 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 doom. I'm thinking of another record. But anyway, that joint right there, um, that's still some New York hip hop shit. And when he fucking said, "I fucked your wife," Nick was like, oh, like he ain't pulling no punches. And when he said, "Call the cops when you see Tupac," like, I remember niggas just being like, yo, he don't sound like he sound like he's serious. Like, this shit getting crazy. You know what I mean? But I know niggas was fucking with it. Like, niggas was fucking with it. I don't think it was that much. Like, niggas was riding with Big and all of that, but at the same time, niggas over here with Pac too. Like, you know what I mean? That's what made it kind of crazy. Like, you know what I mean?
Right, right. So not like us. It's in your top 5.
Of all time diss records, I mean, let's see, no Vaseline, hit 'em up, Ether, maybe, maybe. I can't necessarily think of two other ones that are necessarily better that come to mind off top. Yeah, nah. The bitch in you by Common was cool. It was cool, but it's not better than Not Like Us. Um, yeah, why not? Let's do that. And I'm not even like a Kendrick, like, you know what I mean? Some people are mad at me because I haven't heard some things that people feel, you never heard that? No, I didn't. Like, I be in my own musical world sometimes, you know what I mean? Um, but when she comes on my radar, I can appreciate it or I cannot appreciate it. So, yeah.
Yeah, that would be the top 3 for me too. Hit 'em up, Ether, no Vaseline, and yeah, I'll put Not Like Us in there.
Right. Could you think of any others? Like, if you had to go 5, could you think of 2 other ones that would be as strong as those? Because the first, I mean, if you said Kumo D and Busy B, that was the first one that got things off, but that wasn't even a record. That was just a kind of Kumo D's verse on a tape. You know what I mean? And like, I mean, if you had to put that in there just for the historical significance of starting off this battle in hip hop, then you throw that in there. You know what I mean? Now some people would say maybe KRS and MC Shan's battle. Um, yeah, nah. Those records we named are good records. Those are good solid 4 right there. I don't even know what the 5th one is actually.
For me, it'll be Hit 'em Up, Ether, Not Like Us, and No Vaseline. And for that 5th spot, I'll pick Dollars and Cents.
Ooh, I don't know if I know. Oh, if it don't make dollars, it don't make that one right there.
Yeah, DJ Quick dissing MC8.
Right. Oh, well, yeah. Because the G ain't in you, right? I know. Okay, I know what you're talking about. That was a good one. But see, you West Coast?
Nah, I'm from Houston.
Okay. Because I'm not gonna lie, that didn't even come to my mind. But that's probably more because I'm a East Coast dude. But I fucks with quick. I fucks with quick. I hear you.
So would it be safe to say that you feel like Kendrick, he won the battle?
Absolutely. Well, yes. But probably who really won the battle? Universal Music Group. They're both they're both signed to Universal in some kind of way. So, out of all the streams that they got out of this battle, they're probably the real winners. But yes, I would say Kendrick won the battle. And what does that symbolize? It symbolizes that real rap kind of one. You know what I mean? Like real, he seems like real rap and Kendrick represents like AI rap. Like, you know what I mean? Like if AI was gonna make a rapper, they'd make a Drake. I'm sorry. Drake is the AI rap. And Kendrick is the more traditional, you know what I mean? About lyrics in the traditional sense, where I don't think there was any ghostwriters in the background for his shit. I don't think we're gonna find any reference tracks where we'd be finding mad reference tracks for Drake. You understand? So,
Speaking of that, how you feel about Drake and him having writers?
I mean, I think he's a great entertainer. I think he knows how to entertain, you know, and he makes catchy songs. Um, but from the rap lineage that I come from, like you can't call yourself like the top motherfucker if you're not writing all your shit and all, you know what I mean? Like you just can't do it. Like, you know what I mean? Um, Even if you wrote some hot shit, If anybody's writing any of your other it kind of disqualifies you from a certain conversation. Not a conversation of, hey, he got mad hits. He's been doing his thing for a very long time. Again, he's entertaining. You know what I mean? But I don't personally listen to Drake. Like, I'm not a Drake album fan. I don't like his how he turns his shit on and off. You know what I mean? When he rap all like, you know what I mean? Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then when he's talking to white people, he's like, yes, and it's very, cohesive the way we, and it's just like, Nick, who are you? Like, you know what I mean? Like, so that's why I understand when Kendrick said it's cringeworthy when he says Nick and all that type of shit. Cause it is. Cause you're not one of those niggas that should be saying Nick like that. You heard?
So you ain't feeling Drake using the N-word?
Nah, because you see what I'm saying? Because you're too, that's not who that's not who you really are. Like, I could see you going back to the white people when nobody's around and be like, yeah, and I say Nick in my rhymes and they don't say anything to me. That's because they think I'm one of them, but I'm really with you. Like, and then he goes back, yeah, 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 you know who really bang a set? My Nick CB. And it's like, come on, man. Real, you know what I mean? You gotta choose a lane, bro. Choose a lane. And he want to be everything to all people, it seems like, and you can't do that. You gotta pick a side.
So you feel like he ain't authentic, he ain't real?
Nah, he's not authentic. Absolutely not.
I respect it, man. But speaking of Drake, right, since he one of the rappers that do it, how do you feel about rappers that paint their nails?
How the do you think I would feel about that? You know what I mean? I come from the days of fucking J.J. Evans, and you know what I mean? Like, the Evans father and at Good Times and shit. Like, you think he would wear fingernail polish? Like, come on, man. Like, it's ridiculous. It's just more, all right, I'll take money because I'm an influencer. I know I have influence, so I'll take this money and do as you ask. We know that there's some sort of agenda out there to try to effeminate not just the black men, all men. Okay? Like, they just want the man to be effeminate, but especially the black man. So if we could lead us down those roads with little things, get niggas to wear pocketbooks and paint their nails and all this nonsense that only females are supposed to be doing, and act like, it's just fashion. I'm just being open and all this type of shit. Like, I'm not with it. Please don't promote that to your children. Like, real men, don't promote that to your children. Don't act like that's okay. Like, don't act like, well, I don't want to, I don't want to stunt my child. Whatever he wants to do, I just want to let him do it. Like, come on, man. We can't live in that type of world. They're children. There's a reason why children can't drink, why they can't have firearms, why they can't vote, all kind of shit, because their minds is not ready for a lot of shit. And they need guidance. And that's what a parent is supposed to do, provide guidance for the child. You know what I mean? And people are not doing that. They're just letting their child do it. Mommy, I feel like a boy. Mommy, I feel like a girl. Get me an operation. All right.
Yeah, it's getting crazy out here, man. Me personally, I don't have kids, but if I did, I'll put them in private school. I wouldn't want them in public school around all that.
Right. Because they be having, men dressed as women coming in there to read to the children, dressed, like strippers and all kind of stuff, like burlesque dancers and shit like that. And these is grown men reading to the children. Why? Like, why would you bring that into the schools? Like, I don't understand it. Like,
Yeah, it's crazy out here, man. But speaking of strippers, right? Because when you said that, something came to mind. How you feel about Sexy Red?
Why you doing this to me, man? Sexy. I mean, Sexy Red, again, this is the type of what they want to promote in the black community. You see that they want to promote like the lowest level of everything. You know what I mean? They're trying to turn our women into whores. You know what I mean? Like they really want to turn our women into whore culture. Like, and Sexy Red is just another example of how we're gonna reward someone who's, you know, very low on the financial totem pole. You could tell this girl came from like the Jets. Like I don't know where she from, but she come from the dirty Jets. Like, you know what I mean? And like everybody knows girls like her. You know what I mean? And they're not usually put in this type of position. You see what I'm saying? But they're putting her in this position in order to inspire other young girls to be like her. I saw where they were trying to bring her to a school to like talk to the kids, right? But she pulled up to the school smelling like weed, so they didn't let her in, and she got mad. And she got mad, so went outside and opened the sunroof to the limo or whatever, and was like twerking out the limo while all the kids gathered round and cheered her on. You know, Sexy Red looked like the type of girls like back in the days, like you walk in the room and you'd be like, smell like somebody was fucking in here. And what's crazy is I seen a video. Oh, you guys, I seen a video where she said her own pussy was stinking. Did you see that? I can't make. I'm not making this up. If I made that up, that'd be like defamation of pussy or some shit. Like I, like I, did- like she said that, but I said to myself, she looked like it get hot. It looked like it get funky in whatever room she fucking in. It get hot. Oh man, yeah. Fellas, we can do better. We can do better. Sisters, y'all can do better. That's not that's not the type of fellas, you don't want to wife that up. And girls, if you act like her, you're not gonna get wifed up. I'm just letting you know. You know what I mean?
From what I'm hearing from you, it sounds like you feel like she's a plant. You feel like Sexy Red a plant?
Probably yes. Yep. And I think that plant shit is real. I don't think it's a conspiracy theory to believe that there are industry plants, you know, the Takashi 69s and, you know, people like that that are put in this game to skew the minds of the masses and lead them down a certain road. And the road is usually leads to some sort of self-destruction, whether it be, you know, trying to get them on some gang banging shit and let them crash out that way, or get the females on some whore shit so they can go out here and, you know, have mad babies or you know, contract sexually transmitted diseases and all this nonsense, you know, or to promote pharmaceuticals like Plan Bs and all this bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, if you bringing her to a school, she gotta be a plant. Cause I'm like thinking, why on earth would you bring Sexy Red to a school? Like, who would think that would be a good idea to bring her around kids?
Like, why? Why? Whose idea was that? Whose idea was that? You know who we should bring to the school? Sexyy Red. And then, first of all, the motherfucker, the person at the principal should have been like, who's that? Now, if the principal said, yeah, like knew who it was, that's a fucking problem right there. Like, like, hell yeah, that's a good idea. Like, they should have been like, who's that? And then they showed them, and they should have, off the rip, been like, nah, I don't think this is something that our children, nah. But maybe she's from around the way of the school, you see what I'm saying? And they act like, look, this is a girl from around here that did good, even though she's doing bad.
Outside of Sexy Red, right? Who else do you feel like is a plant?
I mean, she's the one I think of right now. You know what I mean? Um, I don't know. I feel like some people, maybe they didn't start as plants, but then like when they got to a certain point of popularity, they might have been approached and they said, fuck it, I'll do it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think we got some of those too. But some of them start out as like the brainchild of, the government or some shit.
Like who?
Like who starts out as one?
Yeah, like who is somebody that you look at and you say that person had honest intentions at first, and out of nowhere they went left field. Out of nowhere, like who is somebody that you look at like that?
I think somebody that went extreme would be like a Lil Uzi Vert. I don't think he started where he's at now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he went off on some other shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, he went off on some other shit. He didn't start with purses and all this type of shit from what I remember. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but then he's just, I think some people, I think they think they're trolling or some shit, and then they just get into it crazy. Like, you know? He's another one with the bags and the fingernails and shit like that.
Yo, you know somebody that came to mind? Because I'm listening to you, right? And how you breaking it down. And the first person that came to mind for me was Sam Smith. You know who I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah, the singer dude, right? Wow, yo, he went crazy. He did seem like he came in trying to be just a soulful singer from England, and now he's a fat stripper or some shit. Like I seen a video or some shit where he was on stage almost butt naked, you know, trying to show that he's with the shit. And that's why I said they're not just doing it to black people. You see what I'm saying? They're doing it to all men. You know what I mean? And women. They're trying to make the women more masculine and the men more feminine.
Yeah, that's what it's looking like, man. But I gotta ask you, right? I want to get your opinion on it. How you feel about that video of Diddy attacking Cassie?
I mean, it was crazy, It was everything that he said he didn't do. Absolutely didn't do any of this shit. And there you go. So now what else did you say you didn't do that you did? Inquiring minds want to know. You know what I mean? Um, you know, it was some sucker shit, but at the same time, he's not the first dick in history to ever do that to a woman. Like, you know what I mean? I think it's just like he got caught on tape and shit. Like, you know what I mean? So, you know, but, you know, yeah, I guess he's the new Ike Turner now. You know what I mean? In people's minds. Like, you know what I mean? But
I don't think I ever seen Ike Turner kick a woman like a field goal, though, man. I mean, I'm just saying.
well, in the movie, you didn't see it action in real life, but in the movie, he was doing some ill shit. Yeah, Lawrence Fishburne was doing some ill shit in that movie. But yeah, that shit was crazy. Like that was, that was crazy. But see, it seems like when a man does shit like that, niggas like that be having a real subconscious disdain for women, I believe. You know what I mean? Like to kick her like that, like You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I mean, it didn't look like he liked females, man.
You don't really like women, do you? You don't really like women.
You can't. I mean, to kick a female like that, it's one thing to hit her, but to kick her like that, man. I mean, that's crazy.
That's what I'm saying. Kicks or like, like, I don't know what's wrong with dudes, man. And just in the times we live in, I don't even know why niggas think they could get away with anything, really. Like, there's cameras everywhere. Like, do you really think that there's not much you can do that's not gonna be caught on camera? You know what I mean? Like, and he knew it was caught, and I think he thought the footage was paid for, right? That's what I heard. But then it got out somehow. So I know he's like, what the
Do you believe the gay rumors?
if a bear shit in the woods, does it make a smell? Um um yeah, I could kind of see it. I could see it. I could see it. And it's like before the internet and all that shit existed. You see what I'm saying? When you're in the industry and all that, you be hearing shit about certain people, B. You know what I mean? I've been heard shit about this dude. You know what I mean? Long time ago. Long time ago. So the fact that this is all coming, it's almost surprising that he was able to maneuver this long, to be honest. You know what I mean? I was there at City College and all that with the basketball game when people died. A girl that I know passed away. Rest in peace, Sonia Williams. And I didn't think he was going to be able to bounce back from that. I was like, oh, this nigga's done. He's done. And he just laid low for a little while, came back stronger than ever after that. It was crazy.
R.I.P. to her, man. I had no idea that you knew someone that got killed in that
Yeah.
situation, man.
Yeah. My man Sonny's sister, man. She went to school with us in New Rochelle. Matter of fact, she was Father MC's girlfriend at the time.
Yeah, I know I always interview, Gene Deal, and he's very adamant that, Diddy is the reason why, all them people got killed, but from your point of view, do you blame Diddy?
Yes, I blame greed on it. You know what I mean? I feel like they didn't want a bunch of people to get in for free, so they closed the doors in a certain way. The doors, I think, had to be pushed out or something like that, and they pulled them back in towards. So like people got crushed against the doors trying to get in this little space, and you know what I mean? At that point, when you saw shit was crazy, y'all should have just said F the money and just let motherfuckers in. But no, y'all motherfuckers, you know what I mean? Y'all want to squeeze a quarter to the eagle scream. You know what I mean? And that's that bullshit.
You personally, do you think Diddy can bounce back from what he's going through right now?
I mean, I feel like in the black community, it's probably a wrap just for the simple fact that motherfuckers are saying no Diddy. Like the fact that you are like a tagline, like people have replaced pause and no homo and all that with no Diddy. I really don't see how you can come back from that in the black community. Now, in the white community, he might could come back from shit. You see what I'm saying? Like, they still love you know, Roman Polanski and all the who's the dude that was like the pedophile. He was a movie director. I think it's Roman Polanski, if I'm not mistaken. There was this film director. He was fucking with like a 13-year-old girls and shit like that. And I don't know, somebody died and all that, and he went to another country, but they still fuck with this dude, like in Hollywood and shit. Like, you know what I mean? And he's a fucking exile murderer type of dude. Like, you know what I mean? And they still, I think they honored him at something. You know what I mean? So I think Puffy is their guy. So they might still allow him to make money in certain circles or whatever the case may be. But as far as us, I think he's always going to be the butt of a joke. You know, like I saw, like everything that's like gay is, they're putting it on him now. Like I saw a video and a dude had like dry shaving cream or something on the side of his face. And the nigga said, "You look like you just came from a Diddy party." Like, like, how do you bounce back off of that? Like, I don't think you can. Like, you know what I mean? But if he does, and I don't see how, but we live in a crazy world. We live in a crazy world. Some people say he might, if he was just to come out and be like, you know what, I am gay and da 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 da, that might be one of his saving graces, because now that community will embrace him and bring him in. You know what I mean? We understand. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you might be on to something. I can see that happening. But I want to ask you, Big getting killed, you put the blame on Diddy, right, for that happening?
Um, because he didn't have to be over there. Because as the leader of a record label, when you knew the kind of climate that we were in that time, especially after Tupac's death, and the way people were almost fanatic about Tupac in the West Coast, why would you bring your prime asset over there to do promotion for a fucking album and then allow him to go to a party like shit is sweet? Like, that shit didn't make sense to me then, and it don't make sense to me now. Like, a security professional would have been like, no, we're not doing this. You know what I mean? Like, this is not the time to do no shit like this. Unless we have this many people, we got these exits covered, we're doing this and that. You know what I mean? We bringing them in and out of the car like the president type of shit. They didn't do all of that type of shit for him. And you got money, like you got the kind of money where you could have did that. Why not? Why didn't you do that? I'd have been like, listen, Biggie was big enough. He didn't have to go over there to do promotion. That shit would have sold just because it was out. Couldn't promote it when he was dead. And it still sold. So all I'm saying is, he was a contributing factor. I'm not going to act like he killed him or set him up. I don't know all of that type of shit. But I'm just saying, like, that was some stupid ass shit. If that was my artist and that was somebody that I loved, ain't no way I would have sent that motherfucker over there. Ain't no way. Ain't that much the show must go on in the world.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's no way to justify that. I mean, him bringing Big out to LA so soon. Yeah, I mean, that's a crash dummy move.
Crash dummy shit. And you not moving in bulletproof fucking Yukons or whatever the fuck you was in. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I see exactly what you mean. But I gotta ask you, what was the situation between you and Diddy? Because I heard that he made some out-of-pocket comments to you, right?
He tried to play me. Okay. This is when I knew he was out of his mind. Like, you know what I mean? Basically, to make a long story short, I was messing with this chick, just started messing with her, you know what I mean? Knocked her down a couple times, a model chick, you know what I mean? At the time, I remember she was sharing an apartment with a famous actor's mother. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. Now, she's not my girl or nothing like that. You know what I mean? I probably had a girl at the time. You understand? Let's just keep it real. Um, but I knocked her down a couple times. And so now we're out in LA. We're at the Palladium. Big fucking party. Mad people's there. All these celebrities is there. People are performing. You know what I mean? Um, Mad LA people is there. Mad people from New York is there. This was like the super party. Like it was a very good party. So I'm in there, and then I see Shorty in there. You know what I mean? So I'm like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? So I'm like, if all else fails, I have some imported pussy here in the party. You know what I mean? And because back then the niggas are always looking for something new. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're always looking for something new. So even though she was there, I'm still hunting. But I'm thinking I got her on deck. So I don't think nothing of it. Then your man Puff comes up to me and he's like, yo, Playboy. First of all, I don't like all this Playboy shit. Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? He calls a lot of people Playboy and shit. Like, yo, Playboy. Yo, I told homegirl to go with you tonight. That's what he says to me. He said, I told her to go with you tonight. So right now, he's trying to let me know that he fucks with the bitch too. You know what I mean? He fucks with the broad too. I don't want to call her a bitch. He fucks with the broad too. B, he's trying to act like he has more power over her than me. Right? Because by saying I told her to go with you is like saying, like, if you wanted her to go with you and I said no, she'd go with me. You know what I mean? And so I'm just kind of looking at this nigga like, he really lost his mind. You know what I mean? Like, because in my mind, I'm the king of broads at this time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm the king of broads at this time. And I had been the king of broads before being famous. You understand what I'm saying? So, and I knew this guy from Mount Vernon, and he was not the king of broads coming up. So for him to talk to me like this is just mind-boggling to me. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh, he's really feeling himself. Like, he's really thinking, this whole, because I don't even know if he was bad boy Puffy yet. He might have still been like MCA Puffy, like, you know what I mean? And I was like, yo, he's wilding. And so I was just kind of like, I'm looking at him crazy, and I don't know what I said. I feel like I might have just been like, yeah, all right, whatever. And then I just walked away from him, and I just left the broad in there. I didn't, like, I'm going to be, oh, yeah, Puffy said you can come with me. I was like, this broad. You know what I mean? Bag me something else, and I never spoke to the broad again. You know what I mean? But right at that moment, and then upon reflection, it makes me think about some of the things you read in these depositions and all of that, about somebody that feels like they're controlling and all of that. You see, he thought he had control over the broad, more control over me. And it's like, listen, if I wanted to put my meat hooks in the broad, I could have did that, but I didn't even want to do that. Like, but I just feel like he tried to flex on me. You know what I mean? And it was like, Nick, please, like, cut it out. You know what I mean? But to me, that was the mark of, in my mind, of, yeah, this was the beginning of when he started going crazy. You see what I'm saying? When he first approached me like that, oh yeah, Nick, you was losing your fucking mind. You was losing your fucking mind. And on another note, I thought about this later when we're hearing all this, bisexual shit. he could have been trying to set up a play where he thought we was gonna have something in common. Like, yo, I told her to go with you. And then he see me another time, yo, you had fun that night, Playboy? Yo, we should come to my crib. And we'll run a train on her or some shit like that. See what I'm saying? That's how niggas, come on, man. You see? And now they try, and now a real goofy ass nigga, Puffy invited me to the mansion to run a train on a girl. Like, you think I'm stupid, nigga. Like, so that's what I'm thinking could have been a nigga's, you know what I mean? Motivation too. Like, maybe he didn't think he was playing me. Maybe he thought he was planting the seed for us to have this broad in common. I don't know. But I felt like he was trying to play me. You know what I mean? And either way, he was trying to play me. You know what I mean? So I wasn't feeling that. And fuck out of here.
You think he one of them dudes that only got females because he started to get money?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Like, I don't remember seeing him with a bunch of broads back in Mount Vernon high school days and all that. You know what I mean? The first bad broad I seen him with was Misa. And I was kind of like, damn, how he get her? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't even really understand how he got her, like, you know? Because Misa was definitely bad back in the days, in Mount Vernon and shit like that. But prior to that, he was just one of those niggas that danced in the parties, like, you know what I mean? Like, he was just a dancing ass nigga, like, you know what I mean? Like, with these bushy eyebrows, I think they connected at the time, like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, he wasn't a live nigga, like, put it that way.
You think Diddy gonna get indicted?
Now that I don't know. You know what I mean? It all depends what they have. You know what I mean? Um, I just feel like they don't run up in cribs like that without some sort of uh evidence, some sort of feeling like they had something. But at the same time, anything's possible. They could do that and people would be like, well, why would they run in this crib for nothing? Like, they could do that to anybody if they want. They could run in anybody's crib if they want to. Some people say when he got crazy with those alcohol people, that maybe that's the reason why all this shit is happening to him now. When he tried to sue the De Leon people or some shit like that. And that could very well be true. You know what I mean? These white people don't like when they put you in certain positions and, you know what I mean? Allow you to say that you're a billionaire and all this type of shit. And, you know what I mean? And then you act like, oh, thinking you bigger than you really are. And, oh, I'm going to sue your ass. So you going to do what? Motherfucker, I have the feds at your crib in 5 minutes. You talk shit to me. So it could have been some shit like that. He just got too big for his britches.
Yeah, that's what the people saying. But you made a comment before about Big wearing Versace and how Versace they didn't want Big wearing their clothes.
Yeah, I don't think they did. I don't think he was the model that they would want for their clothes.
Yeah, I heard he had to get it customized.
Probably. He probably had to get all his shit customized. Big was a big dude, like, you know what I mean? So they don't have all that designer shit. They don't make that shit all big like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, especially back then, like, shit used to be mad young.
And what was the situation where Big he told you personally that he had to warn Diddy? Like he made a threat to him?
He said that he told Biggie, listen, I'm gonna fuck with you, but if you jerk me, I'm gonna handle shit like I've been handling it. So this was at the beginning, like, you know what I mean? So he was telling me, listen, I'm fucking with him, you know what I mean? And I'm gonna just see what it is, you know what I mean? But I told him, if you jerk me, I'm gonna handle it like I've been handling it, you know? So I took that as, if you jerk me, I'll pop your ass. Or I'm gonna do some sort of Brooklyn street shit to your ass.
How you feel about the backlash that Jay-Z got for going to, Tom Brady Hall of Fame ceremony, but not going to any of the 50th anniversary of hip hop events?
Right. I mean, I think I feel like Jay-Z probably thinks that he's at a certain level where he's above certain things. You know what I mean? I think he's in that rich bubble right now where he just hangs with rich people and does rich and you know, he feels like performing at Tom Brady's is of his stature. Even though I heard they wasn't even really fucking with it, like they wasn't rocking or something to it, from what I understand,
Yeah, the
right?
crowd was dry.
Yeah, the crowd was dry, right? Like, so instead of coming to your people during the 50th, who would have fucking lost their mind if Jay-Z got on the fucking stage and said, "Allow me to introduce myself. My name is," you know what I mean? Um, Yeah, I think people put themselves in certain bubbles when they get to a certain point of money, and it's dangerous. You know what I mean? It's dangerous to put yourself in that bubble because you really become out of touch with the people that put you where you were in the first place, where you are in the first place.
So you feel like it's dangerous, like it can backfire.
I mean, it's definitely dangerous when you're not in touch with reality, when you're in a certain bubble and you can't really see outside of that. You know what I mean? Um, and you didn't start there. It's not like you started life in this bubble. You kind of got there and you feel like, you've arrived somewhere and now that you're there, I'm gonna stay here. You know what I mean? And I'm not gonna fuck with these people like that anymore. You know? And because I got their acceptance, I want acceptance from these people now. You know what I mean? The ones with the big bread. That's how I think they start thinking. And to me, for me, that would be dangerous. You know what I mean? Like, and so I'm just saying that's dangerous from just a character perspective, from just as a human being and just because, you know, the same people you meet on the way up are the same people you meet on the way down. And might feel like, oh, I'm never going back down, but who fucking knows? Like, you know what I mean? You could be one scandal away from going back down. Now, on your way back down, well, let me see if I can make another record or something like that and get my shit popping again. Oh, no. Niggas ain't fucking with you now because you didn't want to fuck with us when you was up here. All you did was the Tom Brady's and all that. You see what I'm saying? Like, and that's where it can backfire. You know what I mean? Like, because now you might need your people in the future. Think you don't really need us right now, but you might need us in the future. Who knows what could fucking happen? And so I'm just saying we need to think about that type of shit.
Well said, man. Houdini, you heard that record before?
Houdini, I don't think so. Oh yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna lie. So it starts with Peter Rosenberg, right? And he's like, "Yeah, listen to the good luck," right?
Yeah, at the beginning he talking, yeah.
So every time I'm in my car and I hear that, I change the station. So I've never really got a chance. Matter of fact, before I get to the station, sometimes I hear like, "Guess who's back? Back again." Like, and then it makes me think, didn't I hear that before? Like, you know what I mean? Like, didn't he say, "Guess who's back? Back again" in another song? But no, I never stick around to listen to it. I told y'all before, and I'm not trying to get back into this whole shit again with this fucker, but I don't listen to Eminem. I don't. As a black man, that's not what I listen to. When it comes on, when Eminem comes on, I change the channel. He puts words together, but the way his voice sounds bothers the fuck out of me. Like when I be online sometimes, right? Playing this game, PUBG and shit, right? whenever fucking little, I hate to say it, but little white kids end up getting in the game sometimes, yo, their fucking voices, I just gotta mute them. It's just something in me that it just rubs me the wrong way. And he has one of those voices for me. I can't listen to him. Can't. That's just personal shit. But why? You like the song? Is it dope?
No, I was just trying to get your opinion on it.
Yeah, never heard it. I don't plan on listening to it. I don't listen to Eminem, bro. Like, do you ride around? Do you listen to it and ride around to that?
Do I ride around to his music?
Do you ride around to that song? Do you listen to that song?
Nah, not to that song, nah.
Do you ride around to any Eminem albums? I'm just asking. I'm just wondering.
I mean, if we being honest, he do got some good songs,
Right.
man. Superman, you heard of that record?
I think so.
Masterpiece right there, man.
Superman?
Yeah, that's the name of it. When we done with this interview,
Okay.
go listen to that record and give me your honest opinion. I think you would like that record, man.
Okay. I'll try it out. I'm going to give it a try. Superman by Eminem.
Yeah, check that out when you get some time and tell me what you think. But I want to ask you, Dr. Umar, how you feel about him saying that he can't be the GOAT because he's white? You agree?
Yep. Because again, we decide who's our GOATs. It's not about record sales with us. You know what I mean? It's about who we feel the most. You know what I mean? Like, we make these decisions. Like I said, the creators were Black American youth. You know what I mean? Then those Black American youth grew up. You know what I mean? And we have tastes and we have sensibilities and we have the say-so in how this thing moves organically. Now, we have no control over the inorganic, artificial shit that gets pumped into this shit. But as far as what happens organically in hip-hop, we still have say-so over that. So you could try to tell me that this guy, whoever, is the best, but in the Black community, that doesn't mean shit to us. We're going to decide who's the best, and it's not Eminem, unfortunately.
What you think about Dre? I think he came out a few months ago and it went viral. He called Eminem the best MC ever.
I mean, he has a financial stake in Eminem. Yeah, of course he's the greatest because he made him the most money out of all the rappers he's with. He's never seen bread like that. And then it led him to be buddies with Jimmy Iovine and fucking getting the beats. And so, of course, he loves Eminem. That's his greatest cash cow he's ever had. Why would, you got to ask somebody who's not biased. And Dr. Dre is definitely biased. And I'll go ahead and just say it. He's wrong. The same way I had to say, because people will set themselves up to not be questioned. Like, well, if I say it, no one's gonna go against what I say. Like, you see what I'm saying? Nobody is infallible. Like, yeah, I could disagree with Dr. Dre and be right. I could disagree with KRS-One and be right. You know what I mean? Like, they're not always right just because, he's a billionaire or they made great records and, you respect them for certain shit they did. They still could say things that are wrong. And that's just a reality.
Yeah, I mean, you're right about that, man. But I got to ask you, right? I heard that you saw Pac spit on the cop before.
Okay. So, that one, I'm going to keep it 1,000. That's actually a secondhand story. I don't know why I said I was there. I wasn't there. But my peoples was there, so I might as well have been there. Grand Poobah was there. Okay. Yeah, I always regretted that. I don't know why the fuck I said I was there. I wasn't there. Okay. And I'm owning it up to it now. So anybody that was there, because I think Tretch might have been there. I think Alamo might have been there. So they probably was like, that nigga wasn't there. I wasn't, okay? But It really did happen. This motherfucker Tupac spit in a fucking cop's face, and the cop didn't do shit. And this is firsthand from my man, but I'm the second hand. Yeah. So my man told me, Grand Poobah, the God, Haji Allah, yeah, this nigga pulled up to the fucking to the airport or to the hotel with a Benz with no license plates on it, just the Tupac stickers where the license plate goes. Remember, niggas used to have their stickers and shit like that. Tupac stickers on the Benz, fucking pops the trunk, got guns in the trunk. Like, y'all good? Y'all need? And then wherever they was hanging out at, that's where this shit happened at. Spit in the cop's face. Tupac was a wild boy. Like, yeah. And we was there. Now, we was there the night. Remember when he beat up the limo driver in Living Color?
Nah, I ain't hear about that.
You never heard about that one? So there was, if you look, Google it or some shit like that. It was Living Color. I'm pretty sure it was in Living Color. Or Party Machine or one of these fucking shows. We was in LA and we just had finished taping the shit. And Tupac was supposed to tape his shit at this show. And he had a crew with him. And I remember, they got into some kind of shit with the limo driver and whooped his ass.
Wow.
Yeah, whooped him out. And it was like a big commotion. And you know what I mean? I just remember, yeah, big fucking commotion. I'm pretty sure it was in Living Color. I want to say in Living Color.
Yeah, he did do an episode of Living Color.
Yeah. I think he got into some shit with his limo driver that night. And him and his boys whooped that nigga ass.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. So Pac, he was really a wild dude.
Yeah, he was definitely, he was a firecracker. Like, you know what I mean? Like he was definitely ready to set it type of dude. Like, you know what I mean?
What do you think about the people that push the narrative and say that Pac, he started acting crazy after he played Bishop?
Well, that could be true. You see, all of this I'm saying is post that. You know what I mean? Like, because for me, I was kind of following Tupac before. Like, I feel like I was fucking with him on Strictly for My Niggas and all of that type of shit. What was that album? Tupacalypse album.
Tupacalypse Now.
Like, I feel, yeah, Tupacalypse Now. I feel like a lot of dudes from the East Coast wasn't really fucking with him at that point, but I was. And I feel like his music was a little more positive, a little more revolutionary at that time. And that's what had me fucking with him. And it seemed like after Juice, musically, everything, like style-wise, fashion-wise, everything, it just took a turn at that point.
You think Diddy gonna get indicted?
Now that I don't know. You know what I mean? It all depends what they have. You know what I mean? I just feel like they don't run up in cribs like that without some sort of evidence, some sort of feeling like they had something. But at the same time, anything's possible. They could do that and people would be like, well, why would they run in this crib for nothing? Like, they could do that to anybody if they want. They could run in anybody's crib if they want to. Some people say when he got crazy with those alcohol people, that maybe that's the reason why all this shit is happening to him now. When he tried to sue the De Leon people or some shit like that. And that could very well be true. You know what I mean? These white people don't like when they put you in certain positions and, you know what I mean? Allow you to say that you're a billionaire and all this type of shit. And, you know what I mean? And then you act like, oh, thinking you bigger than you really are, and I'm gonna sue your ass. Or you gonna do what? Motherfucker, I have the feds at your crib in 5 minutes. You talk shit to me. So it could have been some shit like that. He just got too big for his britches.
Yeah, that's what the people saying. But you made a comment before about Big wearing Versace and how Versace they didn't want Big wearing their clothes.
Yeah, I don't think they did. I don't think he was the model that they would want for their clothes.
Yeah, I heard he had to get it customized.
Probably. He probably had to get all his shit customized. Big was a big dude, like, you know what I mean? So they don't have all that designer shit. They don't make that shit all big like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, especially back then, like, shit used to be mad young.
And what was the situation where Big he told you personally that he had to warn Diddy? Like he made a threat to him?
He said that he told Biggie, listen, I'm gonna fuck with you, but if you jerk me, I'm gonna handle shit like I've been handling it. So this was at the beginning, like, you know what I mean? So he was telling me, listen, I'm fucking with him, you know what I mean? And I'm gonna just see what it is. You know what I mean? But I told him if you jerk me, I'm gonna handle it like I've been handling it, you know? So I took that as if you jerk me, I'll pop your ass. Or I'm gonna do some sort of Brooklyn street shit to your ass.
Yeah, it's a lot of people that say that. But gotta ask you about the BET Awards, right? Do you feel like they're a bad look for black people or no?
And I didn't even see it this year. But I know based on past years, it's definitely a bad look for black people. Definitely. Like I saw, shout out to my homegirl Nikki D, right? Nikki D was what I think she was like the first female artist signed to Def Jam. And she was talking about the BET Awards. And she was like, this is supposed to be black entertainment television. Since when is like hoochie rap and all of that like the only representation of black music? Like what happened to jazz or blues or like R&B and soul? And remember neo soul? And like what happened to all those genres of black music to where now all we have is, boy, you know that ass super fat. Like, and I was like, Nikki D, you're right. And she was like, well, it kind of figures because black entertainment television is not owned by black people anymore. So, that could have something to do with it. Um, but yeah, I don't think it's matter of fact, that show has turned into an industry plant, huh? That show might have started out as the honest guy who fucking got corrupted by the fucking game, and now it's an industry plant. We might could put the BET Awards on that list. What do you think?
I think the BET Awards. I mean, I don't look at the BET Awards, right? But me personally, from what I see when I'm on social media, right? The pictures, the videos, and all that, yeah, it's a bad look for black people. It's out of pocket.
Yeah, it's not made to make us look good. You know what I mean? It's not made to make us look good, to make us look like kings and queens.
Yeah, you right about that, man. It's definitely not made for that. But Lord Jamar, man, great interview, my guy. Great interview. Can't wait for the people to see it. Hey, man, we got to run this back again.
I want to touch on real quick before we leave because I think this happened up here. Didn't your man Keith Murray bug out? Didn't y'all have Keith Murray on here?
Yeah, I did 2 interviews with him.
And he started talking shit about me, right?
Yeah, he was talking a little crazy about you from what I could remember. What happened between both of y'all?
Keith Murray, yo, my heart goes out to this guy, man. I really hope he gets his shit together, man. Like, but I gotta distance myself from him. You know what I mean? But I hope he gets his shit together, man, because I don't even think he remembers how shit even like how shit got all crazy, why I had to like say certain shit that I said to him and all of that. But we've seen the videos and all of this type of shit. And all I could say is, yo, I hope he gets his mind right. You know what I mean? Because I used to be a real fan of Keith Murray. I did a record with Keith Murray, me, UGK, and Keith Murray, Live Wires Connect. On the soundtrack for Don't Be a Menace to South Central. Um, these drugs, man, like these drugs, man. You know what I mean? You got to be strong, man. You got to have, it's not for everybody. Everybody can't do certain shit. Like, some people can't drink at all. Some people can't do certain things at all. They have addictive personalities and shit like that. Or, you know what I mean? Or they might be going through struggles that we don't know about. You know what I mean? All I know is, you know, there was a lot of little shit that he was saying, and you know, I seen him in North Carolina or whatever. You know what I mean? I went to his show, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, he was saying Elf you.
Yeah, but when I seen him, it wasn't no Lord Jamar. You know what I mean?
Oh, for real? He ain't
And
had the energy?
nah, not at all. But it's like I'm not trying to be no tough guy out here, and I don't want to. You know what I mean? Because I feel like if he was in his right mind, he would have never said these things to me. You know what I mean? He would have never, um, yeah, it would have never got to this point. You know what I mean? So I just brought it up to say that, you know, I'm approaching this with grace. Matter of fact, I'm removing myself with grace and saying that regardless that he said Lord Jamal and all that, yo, I still got love for Keith Murray. You know what I mean? And I truly and honestly hope that he gets better. I feel like I've seen him getting better recently. Like, I feel like I've seen some interviews where it didn't seem like he was high and all of that type of shit. Um, but I still feel like he's done a certain, you know, he's maybe done an amount of drugs where certain damage has been done, and I don't know if you're going to be able to come back from that. You know what I mean? His speech is a little
Yeah, his words were slurred.
belabored. Yeah, it's a little, you know. Um,
Yeah, he was talking like a retired boxer.
there you go. That's what you could kind of liken it to, you know, and his sense of humor is kind of, you know, a little out there, whatever. Um, but again, you know, I'm not a Christian, so I'm not going to say I pray for him, but you know, I'll give him a meditation and you know what I mean? And hope he gets his shit together at some point. But please, brother, you know what I mean? Please don't come at me like that no more. You know what I mean? Because I got love for you. You know what I mean? I got love for you, bro.
Yeah, I know when I did the interview with him, I got some backlash, but I ain't know the dude personally. So I ain't know if he was under the influence or, that was just his personality, so I ain't know. Cause every story I heard about him, I heard he was a wild guy. But when I talked to his manager after we did the second interview, he admitted to me that, he was on angel dust. So after I found that out, we never did another interview after the second one. So
Right. See, um, I think people were thinking like, yo, y'all can't see this dude is high and he's not in a position that is uh that's making Keith Murray look presentable. You know what I mean? Like, he's looking bad right now. And I think some people were thinking, you know, if everything wasn't about money all the time, that maybe some of us would have a certain moral standpoint where they'd be like, you know what? I know I got a business here, but that really looked bad. I'm not gonna put that one out. You know what I mean? Like I think that, and that might be naive for certain people to even think that. But I think that that's what some people who have love for Keith Murray and don't want to see him like that, and are upset when they see him like that, they, instead of blaming him for getting high, because it's not like you know, unless you gave it to him or some shit like that, but which I don't think you did. Um, it's not like we're the ones that gave him this. And then if he shows up to something high, you know. But yeah, I think certain people felt like, maybe he shouldn't have put that out because it wasn't a good look. You see, and that's where people might feel like it's exploitive because, you know, where do we draw the line? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
But once again, right, when we did the interview, I ain't know the dude. I had no kind of connection to him. So I ain't know if he was a wild guy or he was on drugs. So, I mean, like I said, every story I heard about him, he was a wild guy. So, but what I do want to ask you is this: when you knew him back then, was he a wild guy?
yes, but not like this. Like this is a different kind of wild. Like, you know what I mean?
So for me, right, I don't know what's going on because I don't know how he truly acts. Like I said, I mean, after we did a second interview, that's when his manager, finally told me that he was on drugs, angel dust. So, once I found that out, I stopped interviewing him. It wasn't about, money or views for me because I mean, if it was, I would have interviewed him again. Because the last interview did views. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's not about that. I mean, I'm not about to, bring somebody on my platform that's, on drugs. I mean, that ain't cool, man.
It definitely did crazy views, but I think it might have hurt him too, as far as like getting shows and shit like that. You know what I mean? Because he don't look like a reliable person in those videos. You know what I mean? Like, so I think maybe he's trying to redeem himself right now. Because again, I feel like the last couple of interviews I saw with him,
Because he did do other interviews after me.
right? And I saw a few, and I feel like, okay, he knew that he couldn't come to these joints high. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and so he's trying to maybe clean up the image. And I hope I'm just hoping that he gets his shit together, man. Like, you know what I mean? But you know, there was an infamous video of him out on the street, you know, dusted out of his mind type of shit. And that was disturbing to watch. Like, you know what I mean? That was disturbing.
Yeah, I seen on videos. Heartbreaking, man. But before we end this interview, Big L, you knew Big L?
Yes.
You seen that clip of Mitch claiming that Big L tried to set him up?
Where May said he said, I just saw that before I came here like a few hours ago. I'm not gonna lie. When I met Big L, he was like the little kid that was around the studio. You understand what I'm saying? Like, he, I seen him kind of getting this swagger later on. Like, see, we came up at this studio called Strong City Studios in the Bronx on Allerton Avenue. And a lot of like Digging in the Crates crew used to be up there. Brand Nubian was up there. Diamond D used to be up there. Lord Finesse used to be up there. Fat Joe, like mad motherfuckers used to be up there. And Big L was up there, but he was like one of the youngest. Like, he was like super young. So he was like, he might have been 16 or some shit at the time, but he's around, you know what I mean? And so when he started doing his shit, it was like, okay, yeah, Big L, that's a little shorty from the studio, like, you know what I mean? Um, but I didn't like, he was always so quiet in the studio and all of that type of shit. Like, I didn't know him as the type of nigga that would be setting niggas up to get robbed. Put it that way. Like, you know what I mean? Like, although one time towards the end of his life, I was out and I seen Big L out at a party, and he had a perm in his hair. He had a long perm. Somebody find a picture of Big L with a perm. Because I'm telling you, Big L had a perm at one point. And I was like, huh? Like, to me, that was so like different than his personality that I knew. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, he must be just, he must be getting into some next, I don't know. Like he's just got a next confidence about himself. I don't know if he's starting to pimp or what he's getting into right now, but yo, he had a long perm when I seen him one day. And then shortly after that, I feel like that's when he got killed and shit, you know? But I knew him as a quiet dude, you know what I mean? I knew him as a real just, you know, just a little quiet dude that's in the studio, you know what I mean?
Lord Jamar, great interview, man. Great interview. Very insightful. Can't wait for the people to see it, man. Yeah, man. Great interview, man. I appreciate you for coming on the platform, man.
Thank you for having me. Keep doing what you're doing. You know what I mean? You look like you know, I like what you're doing. I used to be on that other platform with that other guy who we're not going to mention. And I like that what you're doing. You know what I mean? As an original man. You know what I mean? And yeah, give these motherfuckers a run for their money, you heard?